Okay. Just checking my okay. Um what I've been getting is connecting with you is like seeing a unicorn in the wild. Like people are enchanted by you, but they won't tell you that. It's like you might hear that from somebody, but it's like you don't hear it often, because yeah, people don't really want you to know. You have like literally magic running through your veins. And yeah, a lot of people are intimidated by that. This message does kind of feel very familiar in a sense of like one that I made, and I believe it was like you're a rare force of nature. It's the same thing, It's like this beautiful unicorn in the wild and yeah, and it's like when people connect with you, they're just so enchanted. They're drawn in. And I do feel there's definitely something with your eyes that, like, you have very piercing eyes, and it doesn't really matter the color. Like, obviously, like, that's even more alluring when, you have like this beautiful color, and then, but like, you see even deeper into somebody. That's even more enchanting. Not saying that, like, I just mean, like, I don't know. If you know, you know. um but yeah, like tapping into this energy, it just feels like it's magic. Oh, okay. I'm getting it's like you restore hope in people. Yeah, this message definitely is connecting back to your rare force of nature. So if you have watched that and you're here, like, just take this as an extra confirmation that you are magic. And I'm sure you know that. Like, I feel like you're the type of person that knows that you're magical. Like, you're the type of person that you work with the unseen in whatever way, shape, or form, whatever, however that resonates with you, right? Like, you work with that because you know it yourself that it's powerful and that you are very much connected to the mystical. It's just who you are. And also you could also look younger than you are, right? Oftentimes people think you're much, much, much younger, and you're like, no. But thank you. And that's because it's like, oh, yeah, when you're tapped into that infinite well of the divine, like, that's what nourishes you, right? And so people are captivated by that. People are enchanted by that, and they think it's like a DNA thing. They think it's like, oh, okay, you just have good genes. I don't know, you're very magnetic. You're like, they don't really understand it because they haven't experienced it themselves. So then they try and like put it in their own words, but they can't. They can't. They just like, yeah, they just try and label it, but they don't understand it. So this is why I'm saying a lot of them, they don't like they don't tell you. They don't tell you, like, there's something about you that's so magical and so enchanting, but it's like, also it's like the energy where it's like you trigger people's stuff. So it's yeah, it's definitely connecting. But I feel like I made a few messages like this. um but it's like, yeah, people are drawn into you but a lot of them are also just like intimidated or repelled, and like they don't understand it. Obviously not. Like if you've never experienced something yourself within yourself, it's hard to like describe that to somebody, right? So that's why I'm saying it's intimidating, right? It's intimidating because it's like they don't know what gets activated within them when they are around you, but it's very like it's very alluring. It's very like I don't know, I'm seeing like this unicorn in the forest. And like can you imagine never seeing that in your life? You walk into the forest. You're not you're not expecting to encounter a unicorn, obviously, right? Because you're like they don't exist, right? And yeah, like so just imagine like a person, regular person just going in, they're going on in for a walk, yeah, they might see deer, they might see, regular critters. And then all of a sudden they they see in the distance a unicorn, and they're like, no, 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 it has to be a horse. Can't be a unicorn. Unicorns don't exist. But they can feel that there's something, right? They can feel that like this can't just be a regular horse. Like this looks enchanting. They feel the magic around this creature, right? Which is you. And like I said, a lot of people come closer to that energy because they want to make sure that it's just a horse, right? Yes, it's a beautiful horse. It's a very majestic horse, right? Because it carries that energy around them, but they want to get closer to see if it's actually a horse or is it a unicorn, right? And they get closer and they're like, "Oh my god, wait a minute." Like, no, 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 no. I think it's a unicorn. And they go into like that disbelief of like, what? Yeah, and there's that like push pull energy of like a lot of people wanting to connect with you, but they're scared, and it it forces them to question a lot of their beliefs. It forces them to confront a lot of their stuff. And it's like they'll retreat the other way. And it's and then I don't know, I'm just getting the image of like when this unicorn, like, so yeah, the image that I'm getting is like there's people that are like drawn in close. Because yes, there are some people who see this unicorn, they mistake it for a horse because they don't want to believe that it's a unicorn, even though they feel like this energy around it, and then they just like, nope, gotta like, nope, gotta. But those are the people that like they just can't receive that, right? So they just continue on. Like I said, then there's people that are like, they see you, they're curious, so they question it, and they come closer, and they're like, what the heck? Am I really seeing what I'm seeing? And especially like I'm just seeing like the unicorn, like just let's say it's grazing on some grass, enjoying its energy, being in the sunlight, and it hears somebody approaching. And so it stops eating and it looks up toward whoever is like around. And it's like when you make eye contact with those people, they're like, whoa, wait, wait. It is a unicorn, but what is going on? It can see through my soul, which intimidates people, right? Because when you think about it, a lot of people in the world are hiding from themselves and hiding from other people, which is ultimately just hiding from themselves, right? They don't want to accept the things about themselves, so they wear mask after mask after mask, not wanting people to see the truth of their being. But then it's like when they're met with you and you can like lock in and look in, they're like, oh my god, like they're gonna see all the shadows, they're gonna see all the things that I'm trying to hold in and hold together, right? And then they kind of get scared off and run the other way. It takes a very, yeah, this definitely connects to like your rare force of nature. It's essentially the same message. I don't know, clearly it wants to come out again because I wrote it down and I've been getting a lot of messages, so I'm just like, all right, like going with it. um Probably because a lot of you wonder, like you wonder why. mm. Okay, you wonder why a lot of people don't want to come up to you and be around you. Yeah, like what I'm feeling. And we're going to go back to the unicorn story cuz that's what's coming through. What I'm feeling is like this unicorn is so used to having people misjudge it, right? Like I said, that's that first group of thinking it's a horse, feeling the magic around this horse, but like they don't really have the receptors to receive what it is, and so they just move on. And then there are the people that are curious, right? That want to come up and like look and whatever, but ultimately retreat and walk away. And what I'm feeling is like this unicorn's so used to people doing that, which is why this unicorn tends to be alone and only ends up having like very magical beings around, because obviously those are the beings that get this unicorn, that don't see this unicorn as something weird or different or like a glitch in the matrix basically. um and this unicorn has like freaking like rainbow heart. And what I mean by that is like the most beautiful, compassionate, loving heart that really heals. Yeah, you must be like, if you're connecting with this and you're resonating with this, you're definitely like a healer of some sort, or teacher, guide, like it has to be, in some way, shape, or form, right? um Whether you do it through words or singing or writing, in whatever way, shape, or form, right? Because you have an infinite well of this healing, beautiful, unconditional love energy that, when you think about it, unconditional love heals. That's what heals. Unconditional love, right? And when you have an infinite amount of it, it's like you have to, for you, like giving that away is not anything, like a bad thing or whatever. You're just like, I have so much of it. Of course I want to share this, right? But yeah, ultimately it's like this unicorn. Sorry, it's my own thing coming through now. Just realization about this unicorn. Interesting. Okay. Um, but yeah, it's like this unicorn feels a little bit sad. Like, yeah, it can bask in its own energy, and yeah, it can like live in its own world of the like imagination and magical things. And yes, at times it sees another unicorn and it's like it gets happy that like, hey, I get to connect with someone who gets it, who gets me, who isn't intimidated by me, who also has an open heart and can connect with where I'm at. um but because these unicorns are so rare, this is why a lot of them are like scattered across the world, because you do have to spread that magic. You do have to spread that magic wherever you're at, right? But that's like I it's interesting. It is connecting to a different message I did months ago. I don't remember the title, but something about like frequency and energy, like stabilizing energy or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember the name of it, but it's reminding me of that. Um Essentially what I wanted to say, it's like your energy helps shift people around. That's also why people don't really have to come in contact with you. Like just walking by you does something to them. Does it have to be on a deep level? No, because again, it depends on how receptive people are, right? If they have a lot of walls around them, they'll only you might crack through a few, right? Which again is why I'm saying is when a lot of people have these huge walls, and a lot of them, it's like you'll crack through one or two of them, or you'll start cracking those walls and they get scared and run the other way, right? But still you're doing something energetically, right? Like that's kind of why all these like unicorns have been placed around the world, so at least that they do something energetically. But like, damn, I get it. Like I totally get a lot of you are just getting tired. You're just ready to share that magic more intimately with a lot of people, and for them to really receive it. And I do think that's happening. I know it's happening much slower than we'd like, but it is happening. And like, I don't know, the other scene I was getting, and it's coming through again, it's like it's beautiful when, like, for example, like this unicorn in the wild gets to see another wild unicorn, and they're like, oh, someone who gets me, someone who can receive me, right? And understand me, right? And it's beautiful to connect, right? But it feels like this unicorn wants someone who's quote unquote like normal to be brave enough to see them. And it's not like a thing of like validate me and blah 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 blah. No, it's like just wanting the desire of having someone normal be like, I see you. I get you. I can I'm not scared to face my stuff. And it's like almost being healed by your light, by your energy, by who you are and the magic that you hold within you. Um and it's not a codependent thing, okay? A lot of you have moved away from that, so like let's not even talk about it, because I feel like that energy of needing validation and blah blah blah, like that's a lot of us have moved through that. I don't think I even resonate with those people, truly. Those people that still operate that way, like they have their own things to go through to get there. but you've like this is why you have unicorn freaking status, is because you've done a lot of healing work and you are like this healed beautiful version that just like you're tapping into unconditional love, and it's like you don't need anybody for it. You just tap into your own magic, okay? So it's not a codependent thing. It's just like it's beautiful to have somebody. And basically what I'm seeing, it's like a normal human being that sees the unicorn, yes, gets intimidated by this unicorn, yes, is fearful of unlayering everything that they've been holding together, but they're so enchanted by this unicorn, by you, that they face their fears, that they face their fears in approaching you and coming closer to you and being transformed and illuminated by your energy, which all that means is receiving the vibrational state that you're at and letting, and basically being open to receiving that and letting it transform them. Obviously, it's like their own work, but it's like their own work of being brave enough to let down their walls and their pain and trauma, blah blah blah, and letting their full expression come on, you know. And I feel like a lot of you are desiring that, because it's, again, it's beautiful when all of us unicorns can come together and frolic frolic um and like be like, yeah, we get each other, we get like, of course it makes sense, right? But it's like a different type of connection when, like, I don't know, like I said, a normal civilian comes and can stay, and it's like, oh, okay, like that's great, you know. um and I don't know, I do think that's starting to happen. This is why, like, and maybe I'm making this video because a lot of you are just like, why can't us unicorns just have our own island and like I said, frolic together and just be on our own separate island, and screw the people who don't believe in us and don't accept us and blah 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 blah, right? But it almost feels like, no, like, yes, we can get together at times, but ultimately I think the real work is helping others bring out their unicorn, right? Have their unicorn and magic come out, right? In whatever way, shape, or form that means, right? But yeah, it just feels like more and more, I guess you could say, normal people are wanting to be braver in approaching you and being around you and being illuminated by you. So yeah, if you've been like worried about that, or feels like this is happening, so just continue being in your light, basking in your light, tapping into that unconditional love, because you are doing a service to the world, to humanity, to wherever you're at, because on an energetic level you are shifting things. Like I said, this definitely kind of, I forgot what it was called, but it was something like uh something about frequency that you help stabilize it, or yeah, I don't know, months ago. And anyway, if it comes across, then it's meant for you. But yeah, keep being magical, keep being you, because it does feel like people will start being braver. And it's almost like the medicine that you're offering, in, again, whatever way, shape, or form, more and more people are going to be recognizing that, wanting to be in that, and wanting to be illuminated, transformed by that. So just continue. I know it's been a lonely journey, but I do think things are headed towards it being better. So, yeah. Alrighty, guys, sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next one.